For this class, guys, we have a lot of work actually, but what we are going to do is first a small recap of the last class that was something that we are going to use for this class, and it's just simple things. It's going to be very quickly. We are going to take only 5 minutes for that. Um, the second part is going to be starting creating custom experience zones, and we are going to start with all the preparations. We are going to start to learn how to do some basic mini games like the ones that you see in my map when we play on the first class. Also, we are going to learn how to do the class schedule, so the players are going to know in which class they have to go. They are going to get a warning if they, yes, award actually if they complete the class. They are going to be punished also. So those mechanics we are going to learn it. This is going to be made with a script, and I'm going to teach you a script that I made for you guys that is very easy to implement. You only need to copy and paste and modify some things. Finally, we are going to learn how to start developing your own store. That was a question that all of you, or a lot of people, were asking me on the last class. And finally, we have like another couple of things. First, unlocking rooms. We are going to learn how to avoid players to access to some specific room. As an example, you can have a room that the player needs the key to be able to access. If the player doesn't have the key, the player is not going to be able to play. Also, we can have a lock in school. That means that the players are not going to be able to exit from the school. Finally, we are going to have some questions and answers, and if we have enough time, we are going to play together, and you are going to show me your maps, so I'm going to do a quick review of your maps, okay? For this class, we are going to start with the custom experience zones. These are spaces inside the map that will allow you to play mini games or to have some specific permissions that in most of the part of the map you won't be able to use. You won't be able to attack players. A custom experience zones is going to be the last floor of the school. In the last floor of the school, you are going to activate the attack mode. So that means that you can fight with other players here if you want to do like a small fighting game inside the mini world game. On the soccer room, as soon as you access to the soccer room, you are going to activate the soccer mode. And you will be able to play soccer. If you exit from the room, this specific mode is going to be disabled. Also, if you start running in this specific racing track, you are going to start in the racing mode mini game. And only in this area you will be able to get money if you complete one lap. And as you see, I get 1 coins just to complete this. Alright, so also if you access to the basketball part, as you see, you change the mode and you will be able to play basketballs. Okay, this is like an easy example of about how it works. And if you check, even also the ball is going to feel the changes, okay? So those are going to be very simple changes, or very simple mini games that we are going to learn how to do. That we have like different things for the player, and are going to be that the player get real money inside the game. And this player is going to have like different items, okay? Or different ways to use the game. As this is a school simulator, the player is going to be able to get some decorations. Of course, as the player needs to keep it like healthy and don't die, the player needs to get food, and also the player can get some items to have an extra layer of on the game dynamics, like getting items to send flowers to other player, to get some extra features on some mini games. Like as an example, in the swimming pool, they can get some couple of like wings to do a better jumps and things like that. Okay. So that is like the first part of the main objective of your map, because with that you are going to be able to generate real money. And for this, the player is going to have a reward item. In our case, it's going to be a coin. You would, depending on the school that you design, it could be a different thing. As an example, if it's a post-apocalyptic school, the scraps can be the money, or if it's a monster school, like the brains of the humans can be the coin. But what happens is that with this reward coin, the player will be able to get the decorations, to get the foods, to get the items, the special items. So in the game dynamics, we need a way to get the player, or for the player to get these coins. So the first one is going to be by playing minigames. So apart from the normal classes, the player is going to get a reward, correct? But in the minigames, the player is going to get some extra coins if the player performs some extra tricks. So the player, even if the player doesn't pay with real money inside the game, still will be able to play it. So if another way that the player is going to get those coins are going to be by assisting to the class. What does it mean? That the players follow the schedules and actually do what the teacher asks the player to do. The player is going to have like that specific reward, is going to get some money. And finally, the most important one, that is the one that we are going to use. If the player wants to speed up a little bit the process, wants to get items faster, the player can do it with real money. So the player can pay actually to mini words by checking some ads or by getting some mini coins. We are going to start with this. First is going to be by playing mini games, which we are going to do with triggers, guys. So you are going to learn how to do some basic triggers. The second one is going to be by assisting to the classes. With that, we are going to do it with scripts. And finally, the player will be able to pay with real money. So for pay with real money, we are going to develop a developer store in which player can get those items, okay? So we are going to start by designing the mini games, okay? And for this, we are going to start by creating custom experience zones for mini games, okay? We are going to create our main part or our main system, and it's going to hit a coin, okay? For this, you are going to select from here the plugin editor, that is going to be this one, the one that is on the four icons, these four yellow icons at the right corner. You're going to choose the one that looks like an arrow pointing a file. And on there, you are going to have this new interface. You have like different tabs here. In the tabs, you are going to select props. Props is actually allow you to create some objects, some items inside the game. So we are going to hit add. And in add, we are going to create a new one, okay? When you create a new one, it's going to have this screen that is going to ask you to edit some original props or to create a new one. So we are going to hit in the yellow part that is create. On there, you are going to get this new screen. You are going to hit here again in plus. Probably you are going to have less items than I, but you are going to hit in the plus symbol and it's going to show you this new screen. We have here different tools to create the different like plugins. You can have one for mixed items, one for tools, one for bows. Bows are going to be made different than firearms. Also some ammos that can be the arrows or the bullets. The firearms, some food, some lucky bags to create random loots, and finally some equipment. So we are going to select the misc. We are going to create a coin. You can name it as coin or dollars or whatever you want. As I mentioned before, be creative. As an example, if you have a zombie school, you can use brains instead of money to be able to interchange in the market. For now, for my map, I'm going to use coins, so it's going to be clearer for you. You can give a custom color. To give a custom color, you need to use the pound icon and the initial letter of the color that you are going to use. As an example, red is going to be R. Now, for the description, just play a simple description. And yeah, you can actually highlight some parts. To trade, as an example, we are going to make it in color green, so just put this specific pound symbol, then the letter G in uppercase. We are going to end the highlight, we are going to use pound again and the letter N, but in lowercase. And yep, you see, now it's in color green. Now we are going to choose the model of course. So I'm going to use one of them. I'm going to use this one. Of course, I'm going to use this one because it's going to look more like a coin. And yeah, for the attributes, we are going to choose the number in the stack, select 99. With that, the players are going to have like a lot of item stock. And finally, this part is you are going to keep it empty, just saved. And once you save your coin, just add it into your game, but doing the check mark and hit add. Right now, you will have the coin, we have the base to start coding our map. At the beginning, we are going to give some coins to the player when he starts the game, okay? To doing this, the only thing that you need to do is to hit right here in the part where it says developer tools, that is like the card map, like like the map with a small pencil on it. You are going to have this that says basics, okay? So according to the map rules that we set up on the last class, we are going to hit team settings. We are going to provide the coins first to the players. So for the players, when it says initial items, we are going to set up a none. Then we are going to hit edit in shortcut bar. And we are going to hit edit here to be able to see our coin. What we are going to do is to click on the coin and drag it to the bar. So this is going to be the main bar, the player, the bar that uses the player when he accesses, and they are going to be the initial items. So don't put the coin at first, because most of the times the player is going to use those first spaces. We are going to use the last one to open our developer store. So we are going just to put the coins right here. When you put it, it will allow you to, you will display like this slider that will allow you to choose how many coins is going to receive the players. At the beginning, we are going to give just 10 coins to the player, and we are going to confirm and confirm again. Now we are going to give some money to the teachers. For this, just do the same. Select the team teachers, that is going to be the team number 2. Go to initial items, turn on the custom configuration of setup, and here on the setup bar for the shortcut, you are going to hit and edit, and you are going to have this screen again, right? We are going to do just the same. We are going to hit and edit. Now we are going to select this specific item. We are going to drag it to the previous place, to the last one. But as the teacher is going to have like another role into the game, we are going to give more money to the teacher. We are going to confirm. Right now, when you start the game, as you see right now, you are going to receive the coin right here. So imagine in your school you want the players to fight. That's going to be the easiest code to start the game. So imagine that in this area, let's do something quicker here. So imagine that your school is a fighting school, just to play you as an example, a medieval fighting school. So you want to have an area in which actually players will be able to fight, because I don't know, the knights needs to be able to fight, to be able to gain more strength, to gain more power. For doing this, you are going to use the tool mode. If you are in a computer, use F3, the key function, number 3, or just hit on there. You are going to get this new interface that allows you to place some areas and some specific locations. So just hitting the area 1, that is going to be the number 1, you are going to recognize it because the color is blue. And what you are going to do is to place an area in this location. You are going to select the area in which players are going to be able to fight. As an example, we can do this area. As always, I highly recommend it to change the name. For this, just hit the letter B, or hit on this icon. And you will be able to change the name by just hitting on this icon of settings and rename. So let's say fighting area. Okay? Okay, guys. So what we want is that the players will be able to activate some permissions when they access here. I need you to go ahead and select this specific button in the top, the one that says developer tools. Once you select that one, let me use my glasses, guys, because I'm getting like... Guys, once you open these developer tools, you are going to have two options here, the scripts and the trigger section. I need you to go to the trigger section, okay? At the right side, you are going to see this. Just to let you know, trigger set is like all the triggers options that you have on there, like the group of triggers. It's very important to rename it. Let's say this one is going to be experience or mini games, okay? Perfect. Inside minigames, you are going to add a new trigger. To the description from the trigger, it's going to be fighting area off. And you need to change the name. Remember that I asked you to create two triggers. We are going to create the first one. It's going to be to activate the fighting area or the arena. So let's see, it says arena on. So with that, we are going to know that this trigger turns on the arena. We are going to select event. Guys, when you select event, you are going to search for a specific event. and it's going to be under player. The event is going to be player enters arena. When you get this, you are going to get a red specific part that says area. The area means in red means that we left to set up this parameter. You can see here all the things that are in red are missing parameters. So we need to set up. For this, just hit on there and hit on choose arena. And will allow you to choose your arena. You are going to choose the one that says fighting arena. Or fighting area, sorry. And yeah, with that you are going to be in the right part, okay? Now, what we are going to do when the player enters to arena? We are going to make first the player to change some specific features about it. So, as an example, we are going to send a message to the player to let the player know that he's accessing to the enter arena. So just hitting display chat info. Remember, red means that we need to fill the information. So we are going to keep everything like it is, except this part. We are going to select content is, and we are going to input the character. We are going to say to player, you activate the fighting mode. And we are going to give this color, okay? So we are going to give our green color. The player will know with green that the activation is made. So yeah, just hit on here. Once you have this, you are going to see that the trigger already works. It works, but we left to set up a lot of things. So when we access here, as you see, we receive a chat message that says, you activate the fighting mode, okay? Also, you can make it like a text in the front of the player. And right now, we are going to edit the last part, okay? So once you move back to the trigger edition, we are going to add a new event. We are going to, a new action, sorry. We are going to select again the player. And what we are going to do is, we are going to hit on here, attribute settings. And we can select, as an example, if you want to have like something different. So as an example, if the player wants to fight, we can change the melee attack, the sneak speed, the swimming speed. So the players, as an example, will have to fight like not like running. They need to fight like front to front. So we are going to change the speed, as an example, like instead of having a 10, that is the normal speed of the player, we are going to have a fight. So we are going to reduce the speed to the half. Now we are going to hit players again. And on here, there is an option to change actually the permissions. Let me search for it. Okay, just a second here. Okay. I don't know if it's this one. I think it's this one. But let me do a double check here. Okay, yes, it's the player toggle. Change player toggle, and it will allow us to change some permissions. So now player can be attackable. That means that it needs to be on. Also, we are going to copy and paste, and we are going to say that the player also is going to be, let's say, defeatable. So player can die once he accesses to this area. Now we are going to do another one. We are going to copy and paste. With this, we are going to be sure that the player is going to copy this one, and we are going to change another one. I see. It's, as an example, we can actually change the item destruction off, okay? So let's see. Block destruction is going to be off, okay? So inside this area, the player won't be able to break blocks. And let me show you. So once we access this area, our speed is going to be reduced. As you see, I have the half of the speed. I won't be able to break some blocks or to destroy it. Well, I think that one doesn't work. Yeah, as you see, we cannot destroy the block that actually is entering into this area. So select player again, display text to the player. This is going to show like a screen that says you activate the fighting mode. So also the player will notice that. When Summer, just place and copy. You activated the fighting mode. And once again, we are going to just hit on green here. So we are going to make the player know that that person activates the mode, okay? Okay, I missed some letter here, yeah. Now we are going to add an effect or create an effect in the area so the player is going to notice by sound. So first we are going to add the sounds. To make this, we are going to check sound effect, turn effects on players or in position. Let's say players. Sorry, it's not this one, it's the other one. Let's do it again. Just a second. Sound effect. Okay, on turn on effect on players, we are going to select the player set as a player set. We are going to choose, actually, no, this one is also not going to work. So remember guys that we have like different types of sound. I didn't check that, but as an example here in sounds, let's search. We have two different ones. This is for the player group. We need to select the one that is only for players. Turn on effects on players is going to be this one. Now we are going to choose at the sound. So most of the notifications are going to be here in mark. Select something that is like not too much notorious. It's going to be like something that doesn't distract the player that much. So the player is going to know, but it's not going to be that dramatic. So let's use this one. On here, you can say that the volume is 100%, key is 1, and false is okay. If you keep this on, the sound is going to reproduce over and over, so we don't want that. And finally, we are going to provide some effect to the player. So we are going to play a special effect on position of the player. And the effect is going to be one from the template library. So as an example, we can use this one to let the player know that he is actually activating this mode. And now let me show you. We are outside the area that we are going to create it with the custom permissions. When the player joins, as you see, now we receive the message and we receive the sound. So the player now will be able to fight and will be able to have a fighting game here. Setting up the normal values, again, the player needs to deactivate this trigger when he hits it. For changing again this information, what we are going to do is that we are just going to copy and paste this trigger. For this, in this area, you are going to select the three small dots and we are going to select copy. Now it's going to ask us where the player is going to copy this information. We are going to select the trigger set that says minigames and you are going to have the same trigger. We need first to change the name. Change the name, just keep arena off. It's going to be the one that is going to work best. The previous trigger was activated when you access to the area. Now we need to activate it when the players leave the area. For this, just remove this one. And now add a new one. For the new one, select player. And instead of using player enters arena, we are going to select player leaves the arena, okay? So delete the first one. So let's just select the one that says arena. We are going to select the area. The area, again, so just choose area, select the red part and choose the area where you are going to change that information. Select fighting area, and that's it. So now this is going to activate, but it's going to do the same that the previous trigger does, so we need to change the information on it. So what we are going to do at first is change this display chat info to the player. And what we are going to do is the content is going to be different. So we are going to select here. We are going to change the word activated. We're going to put it in red and inside we are going to put it disable. Okay? Remember red from color red is the first letter. And then the word disable fighting mode. With this, we are going to let the player know in the chat that he is not anymore in fighting mode. We're going to change the speed, just hit again to 10, that is the normal value inside the game. Then we are going to change here the permissions back again. So Remember that we set up attackable on. Now we are going to change it to off. Okay? So as you see it, we have also defeatable. We are going to change it to off. To change it to off, just select on. And when you select on, you are going to have this one that says options. And then down there, you can have the option to turn it off. Okay? Finally, player can destruct blocks. It needs to be on. So let's move it back on. And finally, we are going to give just another message. This is going to be the main screen message, the one that you see from the bottom to the top. Okay? And it's going to say it's the same thing, disabled in color red. So remember, we are going to remove the G from green, and we are going to place the R from red, and we are going to hit disable fighting mode. Now we can use the same like sound and effect, and let me show you. Now, accessing to the area, the fighting area that we create inside our school. As you see, we activate the modes. Right now, we are not able to break the blocks completely. We are working at half of the speed, and there is no players here to test, but you will be able to hit the players. Now, if an exit, it's going to tell me that the mode has been disabled, and now I can run, I can break some blocks. Let's test. And I can change the permission. So when the ball enters here, we are going to show some effects to the players. Don't worry, for this part you don't need triggers now for those effects. The only thing that you need to do is to have some blocks. So you are going to use the soccer trigger, so put it in your inventory. Now on circuits, switch to circuits, and you are going to just take this one that is going to be the lousing device. And finally, in items, you are going to get this specific item that is going to be the ribbon fireworks. To get 64 of them, just hit the K shift or just move it in your mobile device. Remember to have at least 2 of them, and we're almost ready to go. What we need to do is just to place the net score inside the frame, this portrait frame. And when you have all that area covered, you need to place this device facing any side, okay? It doesn't matter if it's here on the top or if it's just next to the net score, but be sure that the players won't be able to interact with it, okay? And what you are going to do, by placing it, you only are going to put those items inside that are going to be this one, the ribbon fireworks. And that's it. Let me show you what is going to happen, okay? When you push the ball inside, it's going to do that effect. That much simple. On this, you don't need to have like any special knowledge of triggers. So hit the tool mode. For hitting the tool mode, you need to hit or select this area or just type the letter F3. On there, you are going to get this specific new interface. Select the area that is going to activate the soccer field for the players. That is going to be your soccer field. Once you put the area on, remember to rename it so you will know which area is it. So select region number 2 and select soccer field. Now that you place a soccer field on here, you are going to have the device already named. And on this menu, you are going to create a new one, okay? So remember we place area on and area off. We are going to create also 2 triggers, the one that activates the soccer field and the one that disactivates the soccer field, okay? So rename it, say soccer on. And we are going to start again by placing an event on here. The event is going to be player enters area, select the area. We're going to choose soccer field. What we are going to do again is to create first a message to the player. So let's hit here and say display text to the player. On here, we are going to select the character screen. We are going to say to the player, you are playing soccer. And we are going to resolve this one. Also for this, just hit this specific hashtag or pound icon or character and select the R. Then end the code, and it's going to look like this. You are playing soccer. Okay, So important things, I use the red. For activating things, please use the green one. Now, the simple thing of how you can do to activate the soccer mode, just go ahead, go to the player, and you are going to give an item to the player because MiniWord already have a soccer game created. The only thing that you need to do is to activate the item. So remember, red means that we need to follow or fill that parameter. Select item type, template library, and function block, or all the options, sorry. Let's find that one, okay? So, it's not going to be in decorations. So let me see. Where it's going to be that one? I think it's going to be in functional. No, it's not going to be in functional. Consumables. No, material. So no, it's going, okay, probably it's going to be in tool. Yes, it's going to be in tool. So select this item. It's going to be the soccer skirt. When you select it, the player is going to be able to access to the soccer mode. So right now, check. If I enter here, just with few triggers, I will be able to play soccer. Of course, and if you see, if I exit right now, there is no change because we didn't remove that option now. But yeah, right now the player will be able to play soccer, okay? So once again, when you access, it's saying soccer mode. But as just if you see right here, it's creating like a lot of skirts every time that I access and exit from here. So what I need you to do is to create also the exit trigger from this one, okay? You're going to just copy and paste, just like the last time that we did. We are going to copy, select the group of triggers that we are going to use. Once we are in there, we are going to rename it as off. So that means that this trigger is going to turn off the soccer mode, okay? Now, what we are going to do is to remove this one. We are going to add a new item, okay? So go to player, go to player. Instead of use props or obtain props, what we are going to do is to remove those props, okay? So for this, first add event, hit on event, hit player, and hit player leaves from area. That's going to activate the trigger when the players exit from the soccer field. In area, select the soccer field, okay? And now for actions, you are going to select to first tell the player that the soccer mode is off. You are not, and let's put it in uppercase, let's use the red color. And yeah, let's remove this part, and now it's going to say you are not playing soccer. Now for this, instead of adding an item, we are going to delete that specific one, and we are going to remove the item that we just create to the player. So for this, we are going to select to remove. Remember, don't select discard, select remove item. We are going to select the item type, so select template, again select in tools. Once you are in tools, select the soccer skirt, okay? We are going to select one, okay? So we only are going to remove one soccer skill, and we are going to play mode. Now let me show you. I enter to the field, and I will be able to play soccer. Okay? So I will be able to play soccer, but if I exit from the field, now I cannot play soccer anymore. As you see here, it's just the same. It's at the same trigger that I showed you to activate the soccer mode. Okay, and as you see, when you exit, it's going to have the same. The only difference is that instead of the soccer net, you are going to use that block that is going to be the baseball net. But it's going to be the same. As you see, it works just perfectly like the one that you are seeing right now, okay? Now, we can do some advanced triggers to create another games, okay? So imagine that in your game, in your school, the school simulator that you are creating, you are going to do also, as an example, a parkour course, or the one that I showed you before, that it was like the let me switch to MiniWord, like the track path where you can actually complete some racing and win the game. So how you're going to do to get some points inside of it, inside of this parkour course. What we are going to do is that when the player completes the parkour, the player is going to get 1 coin. And once he completed the parkour course, of course, he's going to be teleported back to the beginning and he can start again and he can do some training or he can go to the next part of the parkour, okay? So for the parkour, to do this system very quickly, we are going to use the tool modes. Now we are going to select to create a location. Okay, the location is going to be the initial location. Select a location that where your players are going to start to do the parkour or the racing. You are going to use here access and change the name of the location. Select parkour or racing, whatever you are doing. All right, so now we are going to create 2 regions, okay? So we are going to switch back here to location. Remember, location is blue, to area. Area is going to be blue, location is going to be yellow. Remember always that, okay? We are going to select our first area, that is going to be this one. We are going to select a second area, that is like a checkpoint. So we are going to be sure that the players needs to complete all the parkour system. And finally, we are going to get the third area, where is the player gets the point, okay? So right now we have 3 areas and 1 location. We are going to also change the name of the areas. So the area about the parkour initial, it's going to be parkour 0, okay? The second one is going to be renamed as a parkour number 1. And the final one is going to be renamed as a park number 2, okay? Remember, those numbers are going to be important. And what we are going to do is to create a trigger. So the trigger, well, actually is going to be 4 triggers and it's going to be easy. For this, we are going to use some variables, okay? So guys, a variable is some specific pattern triggers that allows you to have like a specific value. So for this one, we are going to create a new trigger set. We are going to change the name for parkour or racing, whatever you are going to have. Let's do an abbreviation for it, park. We are going to have the first trigger and it's going to be named as a park 0. Remember that we have park 0, park 1, and park 3. This is going to be park 0. Okay. Now, before the start, we are going to create a variable here. We are going to create a private variable. The private variable needs to be a value, okay? Now in value, we are going to create the name of the variable. It's the name of the information that is going to be saved in there. So we are going to play parkour current checkpoint, okay? And the default value is going to be 0. All right, we already have our variable here. So we are going to start to do this process. So first, we are going to tell the system to start this trigger when the players enters to the area that is going to be parkour 0. So choose the area and select parkour 0. So when players enters to parkour 0, we are going to let the player know that he needs to complete a parkour. And so we are going to just hit on here on where it says player. And we are going to let the player that the player has a new mission. So select a chart screen and says you can place mission in color red. So remember to set color red, just use pound, the letter R. Then at the end of the word, pound and the letter N in lowercase. And with that, you are going to color all the things that are inside those specific tags. Complete parkour to win a coin, okay? Now, we are going to activate a new feature, and it's going to be that if the player access to that area, we are going to set up a variable. So assigned, correct? Assigned, it's going to be, for now, set up to value, and we are going to select the value. So for select the variable that we create, you are not going to see it here because it's a private variable. For selecting a private variable, you need to select function library, select player, and select player private variable. On there, you are going to see the variable. It's going to be this one. And we are going to set it as a 0. So remember, checkpoint 0 is going to set up the variable as a 0. Now, for the second one, we are going to copy and paste, and we are going to rename it as a parkour 1. Okay, so that's this checkpoint in the middle. For this, we are going to change arena, and we are going to select parkour 1. And as you guess here, we are going to select the same thing, but we are going to change it to 1 because that person is accessing to the part 1. Okay? And finally, sorry, we are going to copy again this one because we have 3 checkpoints. We are going to copy in here. We are going to rename it, and we are going to say parkour 2. Okay? Once again, just match the numbers and the thing that we are doing. So when the player access to the parkour 2 part, select this one and change it to 2. Okay? And what we are going to do is that the players are going to have some checkpoints here, okay? So, to be sure that the players needs to restart over and is not going to do like cheating by just moving around this area. So imagine the player completes the parkour course and yeah, it says, oh, every time I enter here I get a point, so I'm going to just jump from here to make some money. To avoid that and make the player start the course again to be able to win another coin, we are going to add some conditions. So the conditions are going to be in the next one. To activate this checkpoint, the player needs to have to be or to pass first to this one. And to activate this one, the player needs to, the last checkpoint that the player used needs to be this one. If the player just jump from here to here, is not going to receive any award because that person didn't complete the course, okay? For doing this, what we are going to do is to add some specific conditions here. So the first one is going to be that if the player were in the last position, so that means that we need to check this variable, okay? So if the player, well, let's select a numerical condition. Okay, guys, so I'm just checking the chat. Hello, guys. Hello, Raven. Hello, Cute Pro. Hi, welcome to Vietnam. I know that most of you guys are right now from Vietnam. I see. That's very cool. A Japanese middle school. That's going to be very cool. Oh, hi from Malaysia. How are you? All right, so to continue with the class, guys. So in conditions, we are going to select value. Remember that we need to select a private variable, and private variables are not going to appear here. They are going to appear right here. So select on here, then select player, and select player private variable. On there, you are going to have the private variable. For this, you need to select the actual variable that we create, that is parkour current checkpoint. And we are going to be sure that to get the point in the first one, the player needs to have the last checkpoint activated. So remember, the name of the last checkpoint is going to be the number 2. Once again, let me show you again in the areas. So the part that is set up here is going to be the parkour part number 2. So that's the number that we are going to place here. So if the player has a number 2, it's going to receive the award, okay? So now we are going to just copy this and paste it into the next one. And this time, we are going to do something different. So to activate the parkour course number 1, the player needs to have this value in the previous parkour point. That is going to be the parkour point 0. Once again, to show you guys, the parkour point 0 is going to be the start. The part 1 is going to be the middle, and the part 2 is going to be the end. So to activate this specific checkpoint, the player needs to have the parkour checkpoint in the number 0. Okay? And moving back, as you've seen, we need to place in this one the last one that we left, that is the parkour number 1. So we are going to copy, paste this here, and we are going to change it again. This time we are going to place the number 1 on it, okay? And yeah, now the player is only going to be able to complete or get the coin if the player completes all the course. So we are going to move back to this one, okay? And we are going to add the reward. So the reward is going to be that the player is going to get an item. And remember that we create the item, it's going to be the coin that we create before. Because remember that the coins are going to be the main like money inside the game. With this, the player can get food, can get decoration, and also you are going to do some specific mini games with this one. So we are going to add one coin for completing the course of whatever coins you wanted. Okay, let's see, that is going to be a little bit difficult. So let's say 5 coins instead of 1. So when this item is going to be saved, let's tell the player here that the player completes the mission, okay? And finally, in this one, in the last checkpoint, what we are going to do is to let the player know that they complete the course. So for this, we are going to change the text that we place here, and we are going to text mission complete instead of just mission. So for this, we are going to remove those tags, and we are going to set in green mission complete. And let's say reward 1 coin, okay, or 5 coins, whatever coins you want to give to the player. With that, the player is going to know that that person completes the mission. So also let's change this color to color green. Remember, hashtag G in uppercase to change the color. And yeah, what we are going to do with this, we are going to be sure that the player is going to receive the award. Now we need to teleport back the player to the bottom. So for this, just hit on player, change current location. So it's this one. And select the location that we create. So choose location and parkour, okay? And now for the middle checkpoint, we are going to update this text and says checkpoint, save it, okay? So let's put it on blue so the player is not going to be confused. And yeah, let me show you how it works now, okay? So let's move back to mini work. Okay, we are going to just move in this area. And as you see, nothing is happening right now because we are not completing the parkour. So we complete the parkour. Right now it says checkpoint, save it. And now I get the coin. As you see here, I have more coins and it's telling me that complete the mission. So as an example, what I want to do some cheats, and as an example, I place a letter right here. Let's put a letter. Let's do like a shortcut for it, and let's say this is not going to complete the parkour system. If I don't complete the parkour in the right way, as an example, doing some cheat, nothing is going to happen. You see? So that's why we need to create this system, okay? So let me show you again. If I complete the parkour course in the right way, I will be able to get the award, okay? The technique to create this and to get a point is the same that I showed you before. The difference is that the areas are going to be these ones, and the checkpoints are going to be around the arena, so each time that the player passes with is going to do the checkpoint. And once you complete the old checkpoint area, you will get the point, okay? So it's the same system that you see for the parkour, but instead of placing the checkpoints in some different hills, it's in a plain situation, okay? So now we know how to do some games, okay? Correct? And now we have some games that we made with triggers. Now we are going to learn how to create some, this class schedule that you can see in the top of my screen most of the times. That is going to reward the players after the class ends, and it's going to let the players know where they can assist, okay? So, for this, we are going to use scripts, guys. And for this, I create a script for you. So I'm going to copy this information, I'm going to paste it in the comments. You need to open this website. Also, the website is right here in the comments of the video. So if you want to check the description of the video, you will be able to find that information too, okay? So, what you are going to do with this, I need you to open that website. So, you are going to be able to find these scripts right here, and you are going to have 2 of them. The one that says class schedule core and class schedule database. So, what you are going to do, first you are going to copy just the one that says schedule. For this, just hit on that name and you are going to find this. What you need to do is to copy this text. Okay. Once you copy this text, what you are going to do is you are going to access to your map right here. Okay. And you are going to select again developer tools. This time you are not going to use the trigger tab, you are going to use the script one. On here you are going to rename it, set up something like general. And now what you are going to do is to create a new script. You are going to delete all the information that is placed by default here. For doing this, just hit on the trash icon, then paste. As you see, it's going to have some colors. It's going to have a description. It's going to help you out to set up this later. For now, just save it, change the name, and set up this as a class database, okay? Now, after you import this one, you are going to create a new one. We are going to do just the same. We are going to delete the default codes. We are going to switch back to the page that I opened for you. You are going to go back, and this time you are going to select the one that says class schedule core. And what you are going to do with class schedule core is just the same. You are going to copy everything. Be sure that everything is copied, because if we left just like a symbol, this script is going to give you some errors, okay? So be sure that you copy everything. Once you have everything copied, just by copy, you are going to move back to MiniWord and you are going to paste it. And you are going to have all this thing. And don't worry, we are going to save first. Now you are going to rename it and you are going to hit here, class core. So now that we have the two files, let me explain the difference. Class database is something simple that you can edit to change the name of the classes, to change the time, and to change the rewards. In the other side, class core is the actual script that is going to do all the work. So mainly you don't have to worry to just change things inside class core, just change the things inside database, okay? And for changing things, let me explain how it's going to work. So just for you to be able to see a little bit more bigger the code in the screen, I'm going to open this and I'm going to create a new code and I'm going to copy just the same information that you have. So this screen is divided. At the beginning, you are going to see that there is some information. Everything in green is some information. Don't delete or change that information. You are going to move directly to the part that is under this separator that says setup. And what you are going to have is like these different lines of code. Very important, the only thing that you need to do to change the class that is made by default is changing the name and the description for your class, okay? So as an example, you have like some description here. This specific line of code is going to be these groups are going to be the setups for the classes that you are going to have, the class schedule. So as you see here, we have class 1 that is going to be all this group of code. We have class 2 that is going to be this group. We have class 3 that is going to be this group. And to let you know, this is very easy to edit. The only thing that you need to do is, if you want to keep the same classes, just go ahead and edit it. If you want to create classes from zero, you can do it. For creating classes from zero, the only thing that you need to do is delete everything except one of these blocks. When you have one block like this of text, you are going to select first on this specific line. So you are going to say that says class name on here. This is like the description. Okay, so this line is going to be the class name. This one is going to be the class time that takes. This is going to be the class description, and this is going to be the award for this class, okay? So to change a class, the only thing that you need to do is to change the information for the name that is inside those two specific icons or items, or sorry, characters. Be sure that you didn't delete it. So inside of that, you are going to change whatever text you want. So live class example as an example. In the second one, you are going to see a number. The number is the amount of time that the class is going to take to start, okay? So remember that this is going to be in seconds. So in this 60 seconds is going to be 1 minute, 120 seconds is going to be 2 minutes, and 180 is going to be 3 minutes. So as the example, just to show you, we are going to place 60 and it's going to have 60 seconds. This is going to be the description for the class. So as an example, I'm going to send you are going to place the description or the instructions for the players in this part, but as an example, I'm going to say hello to you guys. So let's say hello Nikita. Nikita Gacha from MiniWord. One of you in the comments on the live chat. And right here, what you are going to see is the class reward. The class reward is going to be how many money it's going to get the player when the class ends. So let's say 200. Okay, now let's say 60 coins for just finishing the class, okay? Right now, we are going to have only one class. So let me copy and paste here our code. So right now we only have one class. We are going to save it. And right now we already have the class schedule. Let me show you. As you see on the top, you are going to see here that says class live example. And when we start the class, it's going to provide us like the instruction of hello Nikita, this is YeyoCore, please follow the instructions, whatever you want to place here. Okay? And in class code, we need to change some specific things for this class. Later we are going to change the others. For now, just this one. So here where it says global item coin, okay? What you are going to do is that you are going to change global item coin. You are going to select it. You are going to hit here where it says ID library, and you are going to select item. And this is going to show us this screen. This will allow us to place the actual icon or item that we create, and the coin is going to be this one. So as you see, the number here changed. Okay, so you need to have that number on there and just hit on saved. Now let's move to the database class. Okay. And what we are going to do is that we are going to create a second class, okay? As an example, for having two different classes, and for you to be able to see it, each class is going to last only 10 seconds, okay? The second class is going to have for now, class example number 2, or class, let's say something different. The name of the class is going to be MiniWord is cool, okay? The award is going to be like say 10 coins. The time is going to be also 10 seconds, so you will be able to notice the change. And this time we are going to say here whatever text you wanted to put in, okay? Now we are going to change, very important for the second class, the only thing that you need to do is to change this number here. So class 1 is going to be the number 1, class 2 of course is going to be the number 2. And just save it, and let's play it. As you see, we have 10 seconds to start the class. When the class finishes, it's going to provide us some award. As you see, we have the award here. I received 60 coins. And now it's going to start the second class. The class name is MiniWord. And as you see, as we don't have more classes, it's going to start the other class again. So remember guys, you can just copy and paste the code that I put in there very easily, or you can actually add your own classes. You can change the names, you can change whatever you want to put, and with that you are going to be able to have this class schedule, okay? So now that we already covered like the first two that it was like playing mini games and have some scripts, we are going to set up the developer store. So you already are providing some ways for the player to get money, correct? So let me switch back to MiniWord. And yeah, let me show you with this one that is already shared, so you will be able to see how it works, okay? So, one moment. Hi, good morning, Capitan Word, how are you? Okay, so This is how it's going to look once you complete this process. As you see here, we have like different kind of coins that we can use to get more money inside the game. And you can get these coins directly. For to do this, once more, what you need to do is just hit on this specific icon in the top, if you have the permissions, hit on an item, select the item here. As an example, we can select a key, a VIP key. With the VIP key, you are going to have this different information here. We can choose the selling price. We are going to select, as an example, for the mini coin price is going to be for 1 coin, and for this one is going to be 100 coins, okay? Let's move this one, it's a little bit sensible. Yeah, 120 coins is going to be okay. And as you see, the VIP room key is going to be there. Just save it. And right now the key is, yeah, this time it saves because we have developer tools on this one, okay? So if I hit play mode, and I hit right here, I will be able to see the VIP room key, okay? For now, that's the information that I'm going to teach you how to do. We are going to look the rooms. What I mean when look the rooms, that means that the players won't be able to access to the specific room if they didn't like get the key or pay for the key, okay? So for this example, we are going to use this specific room, okay? Very important. Notice that the room has a door, but you don't actually need it. We are going to set up all these areas so players won't be able to join if they don't pay for having access to this room, okay? To be able to do this, just like as the before options, we are going to select the area. So the final thing that I want to show you is how to get some limits for your map. And when I mean some limits, that means that the player cannot exit from that area, okay? And how you're going to do that? It's very simple. With the scripts, we can set up the limits from our map, and we can place unlimited limits. So we can do a 1000 for 1000 map, and we will be able to use this script, okay? So for be able to do this, also let me switch now to full screen. What I need you to do is to go to the once again to the my scripts, the link that I send you in the comments in the real-time chat. This time we are going to just go ahead and access to this one that says out of the game, okay? So when you select out of the game, you are going to have this small script. You are going to copy it. Then you are going to access again to MiniWord. So remember to copy, just hit copy. And in MiniWord, just hit where it says the developer tools, switch to scripts, add a new script, delete all the information inside, paste the content, and inside of this, you are going to have this one, okay? So we need to set up this. We have like 4 variables here. When we set up those 4 numbers, we will be able to use it automatically. In this one, you don't need to change anything. And how do you do that? It's very simple. Imagine that the limit for our map is going to be this one. So the area that is with a different floor. We need to just stay over one of the sides, and you are going to hit this key, the M key, or the map, the mini-map right here. And with that, you are going to have this new screen. This new screen has something that says coordinates, okay? So in coordinates, you need to take note. Right here, it says -38 and 28. You see, they're separated by a comma here. Let me show you a little bit more in the screen right here. All right? So what does it mean? -38 means the axis X, and -28 means the axis Z. So how it works in MiniWord? In MiniWord, there are 2 axes. This specific axis, or this address, or this location, and there's also going to be another one that is going to have a number or a coordinate that is going to be this one, okay? Oh, see, I placed the color there, it wasn't. So it's, let's say blue is going to be one of them that is facing that direction, or the direction that is backwards, so that means that size, or the red one that is going to be looking that direction or looking this one, okay? So one of them is going to have one number and a max number. So as an example, this is going to be 0, 0. If I move to this block, it's going to be in this axis, the number x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, and whatever you want to say in that direction to the infinity. And in this direction, starting from 0, is going to have the same, but in negative value. So that means this is going to be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and minus infinity. Right here is just the same, okay? So what you need to do is, by just copying this information that you are going to get with the map, you are going to know what are going to be the different coordinates for your map. So in this case, the first number is the number x, and the second one is the number z. Okay, so what you need to do is you are going to just stand over one of the corners of your map, and you are going to take note of the numbers. Then you are going to move to the exact opposite corner. It doesn't mean this one that is going to be the same. It needs to be the opposite one. So just cross like transversal this part, and when you are in this part, you are going to do the same, and you are going to take note of the numbers. So x in this point is going to be -13, and z is going to be 13, okay? So we have two coordinates here. Now we are going to open the script that we just create for the outbound, and we have some specific variables here. So limit x is the minimum value of x. So take the number, the smallest number in your xy. So it's a little bit confusing, but -38 is going to be lesser than -13. And that's going to happen when you have numbers. When you have this minus symbol here, you have to invert the thing. So that means that this number is going to be bigger, or is going to be greater than this one, okay? For the normal numbers, the numbers that are not going to be having the minus before the number, it's going to be in the opposite way. So as an example, if those numbers didn't have like the symbol, it's going to be 13 is lesser, sorry, yes, it's going to be lesser than 38, okay? So in this case, check here, the minimum value, it's -38. So we are going to change this. -38 is going to be here as -38, okay? Now, the number -13 is going to be the max value, or the greater value. So we are going to place it on here. So limit x is going to be the max. Limit x, is going to be the minimum. Limit x2 is going to be the max. And same happens for z. So in z, we have the opposite way. So 28 is bigger, so we are going to use 28 here. And 13 is going to be lesser, because it doesn't have like the minimum value here. Just save it. Stay inside the map and just play. So as you see, I can move freely around this area, but if I pass the limit, I'm going to die, okay? And that's very important, guys. You need to be sure that your player, after reborns, it needs to be in the same area, because if it doesn't, each time that the player dies, it's going to reborn outside the area and it's going to die again. Check this, yeah, as you see. So once again, let me show you once again that I can move freely around the area. Can move freely around the area, but wherever I reach the limit, I'm going to die. Okay, guys, and that's how you can set up the limit for your maps. So let's move back to the presentation.